Hello and welcome to Unleashed. I'm your host, Will Bachman, and I'm here today with Vaibhav Longani, who has, with some colleagues, built a tool called Giani.ai. That's spelled Giani.ai. We'll include a link in the show notes. It's a tool to help consultants build PowerPoint decks one slide at a time. And I'll introduce Vaibhav to walk us through it. Vaibhav, welcome.
Hi, Will. Thanks a lot for having me. Have been listening to your podcast for a while. Super useful for consultants, especially freelance consultants like myself. Have been a freelance consultant for 7 years of my life, working with leading consulting firms across US, Middle East, and Europe. But yeah, very happy to be here.
All right, so walk. I know you're going to show us some slides first, and then we'll walk into a demo of the tool. And if you're listening, audio only, you can visit the Umbrex website. Link will be in the show notes, where we'll have some screenshots of what I'm looking at. So, Vaibhav, walk us through these slides.
Perfect. So, just to ground ourselves on what is the design philosophy of Giani. So, if you look at how a consultant builds the slides, right? You research, you bring all that knowledge together, you start building your slides, you do your QA, which your partner asks you to do at 1 a.m., and then and then you also do design in parallel while you're doing that. So, where Giani primarily sits is the knowledge synthesis and the slide creation part. We are not as much into the beautification part, but our core focus is in helping consultants make slides faster, quicker, and more accurately. And if you compare Giani to your generic AI tools, and I'm even talking about something like Claude in PPT, the issue is that the knowledge base that the consultant works also off is very disconnected. It is not talking to the tool. The workflow is limited. And when I talk about workflow, I mean things like the tool doesn't know what is an action title, doesn't know what is a footnote on a slide. So we have put a lot of effort in tool understanding what is a footnote, what is an action title, what is a body, how to read a chart, a think cell chart even on a slide. And finally, the burden of verification. No matter how good your AI tool is, the burden of verification is high. 10% error rate is very common across any of the platforms. The issue is you don't know which 10%. So what we try to do is make that verification part a little easier with Giani. And finally, the chat interface is a limiting interface, we believe, because you have to bring your own use case. You need to know how to use the tool. Once you know the use case, you have to bring your own prompt, which needs to be of a certain quality. And once you have the prompt, you have to bring your own context. What we try to do is we try to solve for all of these things by hard coding high frequency use cases that consultants actually use. And these are also scientifically generated. We actually got 10 consultants previous to 3 years of ChatGPT usage and other platforms usage, and we mined use cases out of those so that all the use cases that are there are very high frequency. And resulting from all of that, the core philosophy that we work with is evidence first, especially in very critical sectors like healthcare or in space like commercial due diligence. We always want evidence to be very clear, especially in tight timelines. There is no black box. We always tell you where data is coming from. We focus on atomic micro automations. So you don't prompt and get a deck. You can build like two bullets at a time, or you can build at max a slide at a time, but with always human in the loop. And finally, it is consulting native. It knows what is parallelism. It knows what is an action title. It knows what is a footnote, and it knows how to do quality checks. So that's primarily how Giani has come into existence and what our core design philosophy is, Bill.
Fantastic. Let's take a look at the tool.
Perfect. So there are two sides of the tool. Will one sits on the platform on the internet where you add all your document base. One hard requirement we have when you are setting up your knowledge base is you choose where the document is coming from or what is the source. Is it a client document? Is it a primary research document? What type of document it is? Because later it lets you generate or ask questions accordingly. So that's one hard requirement we put in. But that's the extent of the usage of the web portal. After that, the tool comes alive within PowerPoint. As you can see on the right, this is our tool. All the projects you have set up, you can just have a drop down and you can just choose which project you want. And once you have chosen it, all the project context knowledge is now with you inside the add-in. So you can go and start generating content accordingly. So what I've done, Will, here, I've set up a dummy project in which we are doing a commercial due diligence, let's say for a company called FlexPay. We have added certain documents in our database already, some external reports, client documents, primary research reports, even Excel models you can add in, and you can talk to or generate content using the Excel models. I even add, when I'm working on a live project, I even add client email so that I have all of my context in one place. And I can look into all of the things at once rather than having to go across two, three platforms. And the way we work, as I said, Will, is very atomic level. So let's say we'll take a step back. This is a slide I have set up. Giani has not generated this slide. I, as a consultant, thought this is what I want to tell on this slide, and put together certain different elements that I want. Now, the way I would approach this slide is, let's say I want to create some content on BNPL, which is buy now, pay later industry. I will just go here. I'll be like, I want to create this content. I can go draft some bullets for me on the BNPL industry size. I can choose whatever amount of content I want. And this is where Giani is different from everything else in the market. Well, you can generate content from the web, or you can generate it from your knowledge base. You can go to the extent of choosing the exact types of documents, let's say external third-party reports, or you can even go to the extent of choosing exact files that you want to generate content from. And then you just go ahead and create content. Now it will go read the documents, see what is relevant, and come back.
Okay. And you generated the slide that we're looking at by hand, or how is that slide generated? The three text
So this
boxes.
particular one, I generated by hand.
Okay.
This particular one.
Yeah.
But we do have slide generation feature as well, which I'll demo as well in a bit.
All right.
So now we have our bullets here. If you like them, great. The feature where we differentiate is every bullet would come back with exact document and page number it generated content from. So wherever you want your content, you can just insert. It reads the style and everything of the destination, so you don't have to reformat it. We see the content is too long, it is going out. You can just refine. So we have refine feature right there. You can say make it very concise. We have some fast action buttons, so you don't have to type anything. You can also do a bit of styling. Some people like their bullets to be much better structured than this, like they want topic colon content. So you can be like, okay, just refine the text for me. And then it will come back uh, with to us with the improvements. And then we can just insert it onto the deck.
All right.
Second.
And listeners who are just listening and not looking at what we're seeing is we have a slide with three columns. The left-hand side is numbers at a glance. And the original set of 5 bullets that were generated were too long for the page. So now, just by using the make it more concise feature, each one has been reduced down to just a couple lines. So now they all fit. That's pretty slick.
So,
And
yeah, go ahead, Phil.
yeah, and I was just saying, and using the tool, it's also nice. I saw a screen there where you could go back and see the previous version and the edited version. So that's kind of nice. Um,
That's based
and
on user feedback. What we heard from users is, I need to know what you changed for me to
yeah,
be okay with it. And that's a consultant's mindset, right? You always want to have control over each and every word that is on the
mhm.
slide.
All right. Um,
Uh, So tool is very another thing we focus on, let's say, well, you are project manager, this slide came to you and you're like, "Ah, this bullet seems off to me. What do I do?" So we have fact checker. You can check anything based on the internet or your complete knowledge base. So you just select the thing you want to check. You quickly click on fact check. And what it will do is now it is going through all of our knowledge base and checking this fact against all the documents that are on the knowledge base. And it will not fail even if there are like 500 documents.
yeah.
It will not hallucinate. And it will come back with saying that this claim is actually supported and it will give you the evidence for it. Uh, Even the best of the tools will can hallucinate. So what we do is we make the verification part easier. So now that we have the result, you can just click on where this evidence is coming from. It will open up the document where it is coming from, could be an industry report, could be something else, and it will exactly go to the part where this content is taken from, and it will highlight it. So it will make the verification of everything for you much easier as well. Very useful if you're doing consumer due diligence interviews, etc. You have 40 interviews in your database. It's very useful for such a scenario.
Yeah, definitely. I spent a lot of time early in my career, not just taking notes on things, but then when you put stuff on pages, having some separate tracker of where did every fact come from. So that's a big benefit. And listeners who can't see it, there's a bullet point that we have loan origination volume, 335.8 million buy now, pay later loans totaling 45.2 billion. And then on the right, we have the fact checker giving us a link to that specific market report where that data point came from. So, okay, great. So in each one of those bullets that it generated, you can trace it back and audit it. Okay, great. We'll keep going.
And you can share this context with the team, right? So the project can sit across teams. So it's not like it's my project, it's my chat window. It can sit across the entire team. You can share it across 5, 6 people within who are working on that project. So everybody has access to the same source of truth.
All right, great.
Uh, so the tool is very consulting aware, Will. So for example, let's say I want to generate action title. It will read the slide, it will read previous slides and learn how you write action title. And then based on that, it will generate the action title for you once you ask for it. So it is reading the slide, it is reading previous slides, and will come back and give you, and you can give direction, make it quantitative. If you have certain message you want to give, you can also just say that, and then it will know where the title is. So you just click insert and it will get inserted.
Hmm. Okay. And it came up with the title The BNPL Industry Demonstrates Robust User and Loan Growth, but Faces Emerging Headwinds and Signs of Market Maturation. All right. And so it gave us multiple titles to select from. Well, that's pretty nice. Okay.
We are
Um,
working on next generation of these tool of this feature as well. So for example, you see it recognizes that I'm working on the title. So rather than being reactive and I press insert title, it recommends automatically. So it is learning from my behavior and recommending proactively rather than being reactive.
hmm, okay. Great. And let's just kind of quickly give people an architecture of the tool here on the right. So we're in a PowerPoint window, and the tool, the plugin, is on the right-hand side for Giani. And there's four main tabs: Generate, Refine, Review, and Slides. Do you want to give us just a quick narration of what is done on the Generate tab?
So the tool is designed and created in the same way that the way the consultant works, right? We start with we create content, bullets, tables, etc. Then we move on to refining that content, getting each and every word right. So that's the refine tab. We looked at improve selected text. You can improve your current title. You can even parallelize content. So you can capture your reference. So for example, we are here. You just captured this as a reference. You see all these statements start with a verb, but the last one is a noun. It doesn't. So you capture your target. It will learn the styling of the reference and it will apply it to the target. And then you can just insert it in and you're done.
Oh,
So it knows parallelism, etc. So you can refine content very quickly like that. And then once you are done refining, you can move on to reviewing. So you can fact check, you can ask it for some slide review, you can do thorough quality checks. So you can do it at slide level or complete deck level.
mm,
And in terms of the quality checks, you can go to the extent of setting your own custom rules. So, for example, I want my bullets to be parallel. We should not use the word customer, we should use client. There should be no double space. So, you can set custom rules for those certain checks, or we have certain existing rules as well. For example, footnote integrity. Maybe you have somewhere mentioned that there is a footnote, but you haven't included it. You have a reference, but there is no footnote, or there is a footnote, but no reference. So it will catch such inconsistencies, grammatical errors, etc. So you can choose which types of checks do you want to run it on, and you can do all of those. This is the problem we face as consultants at 11 a.m., 11 p.m., 12 a.m. when partner has looked at the deck and he says, just do a QC and send it over. But that QC takes about 4 or 5 hours, right? Because you find issues, then you have to fix them, right? So this is to solve that 12 a.m., 1 a.m. problem, you know?
I think it's funny that you have one of your audit is steps is AI slop detection, identifies
Yes.
generic AI generated content patterns. So is
Yes,
it
we have some. We have built a lot of in all of our prompts. There is a lot of safeguards put in place so that not generic AI patterns come forward. But if there is, you can always check that, and it will flag those like M dashes that your typical using certain words like delve, etc. So we have put in a lot of those safety checks as well, so that we ensure that the quality is up to standard.
okay? All right.
And then finally, we have a cross slide inconsistency check, will, which is you can go slide by slide across the whole deck and it will find inconsistencies for you. And I can quickly show you how that would look like. So, yeah, and it works for a slide deck which is 10 slide long or 200 slides long or 300 slides long. So it'll be able to do that. And what we have in there will is in the backend, there are 3 agents, 4 agents running. And what they do is one looks at numbers, one looks at the overall strategy, and the other looks at the narrative. So we have all 3 agents checking in parallel what is wrong, what is right. And what it does is it tells you things like, so, for example, here we say the BNPL industry market size is 2 billion, but on slide 5, it says it is 100 million. So,
Oh,
there is
that's not
a
good.
big inconsistency that we need to resolve. So, it will
Uh,
catch these issues for you.
all right. Well, that's a pretty big difference. Yeah. Um, so the review tab has this inconsistency check report. All right. Now, can this, it seems like so far you've talked to me about creating titles and bullet points. Is it currently primarily or solely for generating text, or can it also create column charts, bar charts, other kind of visuals?
So what we do is we make it easy for you to set up all of those things, but we don't make charts. And the reason that we realized that we shouldn't be doing it is because most of the serious consulting firms and consultants use ThinkCell and not native PowerPoint charts,
Yeah.
and hence we thought it would not be as useful to put normal charts. So what we do is we make it easy for you to get your content inside PowerPoint from your Excels or wherever it is. So let's say you want to create a table. I have added an Excel model here. You want to create a quick table with different things. What you can do is you can just choose the model. So we have a chat window inside PowerPoint as well. So you can just say, create a quick table for me on these things, and it will come back to you with exact table, and you can use it to make chart. So we make it easier for you to make chart. We don't make it because most of the consulting firms don't use native PowerPoint charts anyway.
Okay. All right.
It will create this table for you. It will give you exact where it is coming from, and this data points are split across 3 Excel sheets, right? So it pulls from across everywhere, and you can just insert it onto the slide and then use it to create your chart.
All right. All right. Well, what other features do you want to show us?
So I think one of the things, Bill, we have really been working hard on is actually slide building agent. So until now, what we have seen is micro automations. You can make bullets, you can make title, you can parallelize content, you can do quick checks. So what you can also do is go to the extent of actually building slides. And here we follow the same principle, which is we want to actually make it evidence first again, so that you know that it is coming from the right place. So let's say I did interviews on this particular project. I did 3 interviews. In the All the transcripts are already added onto Giani, so it's already there. You can go and choose exact files where you want this slide to be made out of. You can also choose internet if you want to get some internet search or base model thinking as well. You can just do that as well. So let's say we choose this, and now we go to the generation. Now what it does, will is we have a database of templates in the backend. We also, for our B2B customers, we also encode templates, so we can choose those templates. So let's say I want to choose this particular template to showcase what came out of those interviews. Now the tool doesn't, now the agent will take over the slide, and it doesn't assume. So it will just go to the database, it will look at everything that is there, it will look at all the knowledge base, and it will come back with clarification questions before it recommends something for you. So again, giving that consultant the control that they need. So it will come back. It takes a bit of time because there are certain checks and balances we have put in place to ensure there is all the evidence is checked, etc., double checked. So it takes, this feature takes a little bit of time, but the output you'll get will be accurate based on your knowledge base.
All right, fabulous.
The thing we've been looking at is such feature is very much liked by partners because they can encode their proposal slides, which are very specific and very typical. So then they can just upload all of their previous projects that they have worked on, and we encode those templates, and they can just be like, okay, go ahead, develop it. So now, as you can see, it came back with clarification questions before it actually generated the slide. And if you
Okay.
read, Will, these are very specific questions.
Hmm. Yeah, so it's asking specific questions like, do you want the matrix to be flex pay only or explicitly comparative versus Affirm or Klarna were mentioned? So getting very detailed about, something like a business analyst might go to their engagement manager to ask a bunch of clarifying questions. How should I make this chart? All right. And you can just approve the
And
plan.
you have the choice, Will, to answer. It will auto-populate an answer for you, but you can
Yeah.
change, right? Like if you want to be like, nah, the audience here is not this, it is this, you can make changes. And then you just approve plan. Now it will go second time and look at all the documents, look at what all is there, and then come back to us with actual content to be populated.
All right. Fantastic. And it has, if you want to create a slide from scratch, it also has a range of templates that are kind of built in that it will suggest for you, right? Like you tell it what you want and it
Yes.
will suggest some options.
Yes.
All
So we
right.
have a range of templates. I want a 3-step process. I want a 5-step process. So all of that is already built in, and it will recommend you something. And we also have an auto slide intelligence agent. So what it does is it tries to implement the destination formatting visually. It does a good enough job. It will get you there. It will get you some colors. It's not perfect, the slide ingestion, but it will get you to an 90% version of the destination template.
Hmm. Okay. What's the pricing of the tool for listeners that are interested to test it out?
Primarily, Will, we are focused on B2B segment. The tool can go from $50 up to $150 based on what type of feature set you choose and the duration you choose it for. But because we are on Umbrex and I've been a freelancer myself, I think I do want to offer something to the Umbrex community. So
Uh,
2 months usage for Umbrex users we'll provide for free. The only thing I ask in return is get on a call with me for 30 minutes to give me feedback, and that's all I ask for.
okay. And and that's per month, right? So that's 50 to 140 US
Yes.
dollars per month per user is
Per month per user, yes.
the normal pricing.
Yes.
Okay. Um,
Yes. And
so
the reason why it is also priced this way is because we are also solving for knowledge in addition to just making slides. We are helping organize the knowledge and reducing the synthesis time of knowledge as well.
yeah, okay. So for listeners of this show who may include Umbrex and Veritex members and maybe some members, some listeners who may not be members, where can they go if they want to sign up and avail themselves of that discount that you've offered for a couple free months of trial of use?
Just write to me at v@giani.ai. That's V for Vendetta at Giani.ai, and we'll make it happen.
V for Vendetta. Okay.
I mean, it's V for Weber, which is my name, but V for Vendetta sounds cooler.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if that was your nickname. Scary guy to know. All right. So great. Well, we'll include some screenshots on the website so listeners can check out what I've been looking at. And we may also post the video of this as well on the Umbrex website. So, Vaibhav, thanks so much for sharing what you're building. Tell us, just give us a minute on what you've done to build this thing. Like, how did you go about it?
So, Will, this comes very much from my own experience. I've been a freelancer and I was very irritated myself having to switch continuously between ChatGPT and coming to PowerPoint and then reformatting everything. And I started as a hobby project just to solve that problem.
Huh.
And once I started talking to a lot of other consultants, I realized that there is a much bigger problem to solve on the knowledge side, which is bringing that knowledge inside PowerPoint. And then none of these tools talk to PowerPoint. Like they don't understand, even the most advanced ones don't know what is an action title on the slide, right? So you can't do that. So that kind of triggered the whole process of building it. And then we iteratively improved it with pilots, with other freelancers, other consultants to get things absolutely right. For example, the action title creator that we have, it to get the prompt absolutely right, we got it validated from ex McKinsey Bain consultant to see validate outputs, and it went from V1 to V73 before we finalized it. So each and every prompt has gone through rigorous testing here to make sure it is giving a quality that and good quality consultant would appreciate.
Hmm. Okay. All right. And did you build the whole thing yourself or did you hire developers or
Yeah, so I started vibe coding it. Didn't work at all. It doesn't
oh,
work well. So especially if you want to have this like an octopus type of approach, right? On one side, one tentacle is going on knowledge, the other tentacle is going inside PowerPoint, right? So for such complicated procedures, vibe coding doesn't really work. So yes, I have a team of 4 or 5 developers who've been working with me on this, and we've developed this over the last about 6 to 8 months. We've developed this.
all right. Well, congratulations on what you built.
Thanks a lot, Will. Appreciate you. Appreciate your time.
Thanks for joining.